2025, and welcome to Mind Heart Mondays. I'm back with our third and final video and teaching for our June Bloom series. And tonight we are talking about sustenance of the will. So we began with the mind. Our second video was on the heart, and tonight we're talking about the will. I will go back and link all of them on each video so you can have easy reference and access to watch all the videos together, because I do encourage you to watch, especially a series together, so you can get the fullness of the teaching. Tonight, it is the will. So what is the will? The will is the third and very important part of the soul realm, and it is the chooser. Our will is the part of us that chooses, that decides. So all the more reason we need to know how to choose for our life. Those of you that have been rocking with me for a while, you know that I teach you the mind and the heart must be in their optimum health, or at least on the inner healing journey, to have good strength to pour into our life choices. So with that said, my anchor must be intact spiritually so that I can have somewhere to draw from. Therefore, pouring into my soul realm, giving me health and strength to make good and wise decisions. So tonight I'm going to give you 3 areas so that your will can be strong. And these are the areas that I feel, obviously there's more. I could actually sit here and list so many of them, but these are sort of 3 main ones that we're going to talk about tonight. That's going to give you a good foundation to make good decisions. So, as I've shared many times in the past, if you are in a space where you're having trouble making decisions, chances are you are struggling emotionally or you're struggling mentally. And if you're struggling there, then perhaps your spirit is actually what's needing some nutrition. However, when you are in a space where you're learning more about yourself, you're on the inner healing journey, you're interested in growth and self-development, then you will begin to have more freedom and more power to do what you need to do. So the first one I'm going to list for us tonight is going to be spiritual strength. Welcome everybody. Good to see y'all. Awesome to have everyone here in the chat and everyone watching on the replay. My name is Ruby. Welcome to my channel. And tonight we're talking about the sustenance of the will. So first and foremost, spiritually, I must be on point. And if not, I must be at least spiritually connected to the source of my spirit so that I can have somewhere to draw my strength from. A soul without spiritual anchor is a very, very wavering and chances are unhealthy soul. Yes, it is. I am live. Good to have you here tonight. So how is your spirit? You must have spiritual strength. And how do I do that? How do I gain spiritual strength? Well, I must have connection with the spirit, capital S. I cultivate this by spending time in prayer, by seeking God for His will for my life, and learning how to surrender and yield, especially the parts of me that are just lost or struggling. This is something that takes time to develop. It takes, obviously, effort, and it takes desire for me to build a spiritual relationship with spirit. Okay? By the way, if y'all have any questions, don't hesitate to ask as I'm teaching. And if you're watching this on the replay, you can hop on the comments and ask. Okay, so my spirit is the foundation of my inner being, okay? So I am spirit. I am spirit. That is to say, that is the essence of who I am. We all have a spirit that lives on eternally. I possess a soul. This is a part of me that is sort of, if you will, you can look at it this way. It's the part of me that is connected to the physical realm and the physical world, and the part of me that is connected to the spiritual. Okay, this is why we have all these battles mentally, emotionally, and in our life decisions, because we're in a constant tug of war between the spiritual and the physical. So it is imperative that I have a good understanding of my soul, that I have a good understanding of how to take care of my soul, which is the mind, heart, and will. And obviously that I have good connection with spirit so that I can know how to pour into self, and be the best that I can be. None of us will ever get it perfectly, but at least we can learn to heal and recover from everything that damaged us. Then, of course, I am body. I have a body. I live in a body in this physical world, and my body feels everything that's going on in my soul and my spirit. Do you think you're stronger than a coyote? Good. That's funny. I hope so. Are you? Sorry. No, that I'm married. Okay, so number 2 is vision. Let's get into vision. Vision is something I teach all the time. Vision is essentially my perspective of my life, my purpose. This is all three: my purpose, my calling, and my assignment. This is something that is revealed to me spiritually first, pours into my soul realm, and then I access it in the physical realm, through work, through what I do, through my calling. So I must have vision. You will know your vision when your spirit is anchored. This is how I get this information and understanding for self. And then you activate it, you actualize it, you cultivate it, and bring it to fruition, however long that takes for you. If you don't have vision, this y'all are funny tonight. I appreciate the humor. I like to laugh, so thank you. If you don't have vision, chances are you are somewhere in a space of, you're just kind of, you don't know what you're doing with your life. You're just kind of experimenting here and there. Maybe I want to work here. Maybe I want to do this. Maybe I don't know. You just don't have focus, okay? A lot of times we don't have focus because we don't know why we're here. But I'm here to remind you, for those of you that have been with me for a little bit, and those of you that are new, that you have purpose. You are not here by accident. You are not randomly in this time and space. You have purpose. You have a calling, and you have an assignment to do here on this earth realm, especially as the days get closer to the convergence, as I like to say, the convergence of all things. So it's important to know what vision is. And by the way, if you're new, I do one-to-one sessions where I can help you understand vision for yourself, by kind of doing a personal assessment, personally tailored assessment of where you are, and I can help you find and discover that for yourself. So if you're interested, feel free to message me at shesrestored@gmail.com, or you can click on the link that I have in the description for a one-to-one session, which I'm hosting all year long for $25 an hour. So I would take advantage of that rate while you can, because once 2025 is over, I'm going to go back to my normal rates. Aw, thank you. Hello. This necklace, this is something that my husband gave me, and it represents our love. Okay, so vision is number 2. I must have vision. Very, very important. Now, vision, when it comes to my will, once I have vision, I make choices intentionally now. I don't just make random impulsive decisions based on my emotions, which could be out of whack, or my thoughts that are, scattered, or, unbridled, whatever you want to call it. I begin to make decisions based on this assurance in my heart that I know what I'm here to do. I know why I'm here. So now my heart is connected to my time and my energy, and I don't waste it. So boredom immediately just kind of vanishes because now I know what I'm here to do. Also, and obviously my mental health is beginning to heal. It's beginning to become more sharp and focused because I know why I'm here. Again, this is something that we cultivate. This is something that takes time, and it is certainly something that I need the Spirit to lead me into, because without His guidance, I'm at the mercy of my own default thinking, my own default emotional trauma, or whatever it is, and I will not make healthy decisions. What else? So yeah, my will begins to be deliberate. I begin to make better choices, healthy choices, according to the vision that I've been given. Okay, and thirdly, there's actually three for number 3, but they are essential and spiritual arsenal. Number 1 is faith. Okay, if my will is going to be properly sustained and nourished, I have to have faith that what I'm moving into, or this decision that I'm about to make, is a good one, a healthy one, a strong one. Faith is spiritual, so this is the part of me that has to connect to something bigger than me, so I can understand little me here and now, because this decision is going to pour into my trajectory in life. So this is where I think we forget sometimes, is it's just a little decision, but little decisions create your entire life if you look at it that way. So faith, even if it's little tiny faith, is important and essential for us to have sustenance in our will, which is our chooser. Number 2 is hope. Okay, hope is, as scripture defines it, hope is the substance of things not seen. Hope is the substance. Okay, so again, it's this invisible understanding, and yet it's real. Those of us that are familiar with, manifestation and manifesting, I manifest according to what I am putting my hope in, what I'm putting my faith in, what I'm envisioning in the invisible, so that it comes to fruition. So this is very important, because a lot of times, if especially in my faith, if my faith is low, then chances are the manifestation is going to be on par with that. So I need to cultivate faith. I need to believe what I cannot see so that I see it. Okay, this is what faith is all about. It is believing what I cannot see, and yet hoping that it exists, and believing that it exists so that it therefore exists in the natural. This is what's called bringing heaven to earth, calling the things that are not as though they are, because they are really, if you think about it. So whatever I give my energy to, whatever I give my faith to, is what I can expect, okay? So those of us that are a little more on the pessimistic side or negative, and by the way, a lot of us are like this because we've been through a lot and we have not seen, our hope has been deferred. So we have not seen the things that we've been hoping for, or maybe we just have a lot of generational bondage or curses that either we're connected to, we don't even realize it, or we just don't know how to break ourselves out of that cycle, which, by the way, I can help you with that if you're interested. But once we come to this understanding that it's actually what I speak, even if I'm nervous or I'm worried or I'm fearful or anxious, if I don't speak it, I don't agree with it, okay? This is why when I've taught on this a lot, actually, especially when I teach on spiritual things specifically, but what I speak is what I can expect to see. Okay? So we must not agree with the circumstances, especially if they're not in alignment with our hope and our faith. We must actually speak what we're hoping and believing for to see the manifestation. So, hope, the substance, the evidence of things not seen. Okay, and lastly is courage. I have a question. Hi, Heather. Let's see. What do you do when different people give you conflicting messages that God showed them his plan for your life, but it doesn't resonate with what you believe he's told you? It makes perfect sense. Yes, if you're speaking about prophetic words, I always caution with those simply because I must remember that a prophetic word will confirm if it's for you, okay? It will confirm what God himself in your prayer time, you know, and however he speaks to you, because he speaks to us in different ways. It will confirm what he's already shared with you. And if it's the first time you're hearing something and there's something in your spirit that connects to it, then I would certainly seek him first and seek him more about it. Because remember, prophets and messengers, they only see a fraction of the whole picture. Okay? So, yes, people have prophetic gifts. The Lord has given me prophetic messages, but again, I only show what I've seen. It's not the whole picture. So, I must discern what I'm hearing. I must take it to the Lord for confirmation, but it's more that he's confirmed it already for me, if that makes sense. That is what I would caution you on, is to make sure you hear it from him first to your spirit, and he will confirm it to you. Trust me, especially if it's something specific, like let's say a major life change, or something that can impact you in a major way. I would take my time on that and let it come from him first. You're very welcome. I'm glad that blessed you and glad that helped you. Yes, by the way, you can reach out anytime. She's restored@gmail.com. If you have any other things that you would like some help on, I'd be happy to help you. Okay, so lastly on the third one is courage. If my will is to be in its optimum health, courage is a big one. And for some of us, it's the hardest one. Because sometimes I do need to make decisions when I don't have all the answers I would like to know I am making the right decision, especially if it's a major life decision. And I personally have come across this before, and I'm telling you, I will bet my life on this, because I did bet my life on this. God will, especially if he's leading you to make a major decision, he will confirm it every single step of the way. And it will be governed by his peace. This is how you know, even if you're anxious about making the decision, even if there's some question marks, you will know by his spirit of peace, this is him leading me. I'm nervous about this. It's a big deal. It's a big decision, but I know by his spirit of peace that I'm going in the right direction. And I'm here to tell y'all too, especially if you are on the spiritual journey and you are growing your faith, or you're learning how to hear God's voice, it's a matter of tuning into the frequency of the spirit. That's how you hear God. I'm going to get into those teachings later, y'all, by the way. This is something he's already put on my heart, to start teaching a little bit more on connecting with him and hearing his spirit. Because a lot of people do have questions on how do I hear God's Spirit? How do I know it's God? How do I know it's me? How do I know it's the devil? You know, and there's a way to discern all of this. So, but my will, my chooser, must have courage. Okay, and again, my courage will come from my faith, my hope, which is anchored to the Spirit. So I hope this blessed you. If you haven't watched the other two videos, I encourage you to go watch those. Mind Heart Mondays is basically the last two that I've done live on this June Bloom series for the mind, the heart, and the will. Hope you're doing well. Hope you are pouring into your soul, feeding it the light, the water, and the sun that it needs to grow healthy and strong. If you're interested in one-to-one sessions, this is what I do. I'm a certified therapeutic art life coach. I help you kind of go on this inner healing journey using the modalities of art. And I will be back on Friday here on YouTube for our Friday night live stream. If you're interested in taking classes with me, I do teach classes throughout the week. I can do one-to-one sessions, or you can join my group classes. I have one on anxiety on Wednesdays, and I have one on Thursdays. I'm trying to remember, y'all, because I'm starting to kind of get my calendar a little bit more full, which is great. But I still have room for you if you're interested. Feel free to reach out, shesrestored@gmail.com. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing. And I will be back on Friday. You can find me on Instagram as well if you'd like to join me over there at She's Restored. And for my artists and musicians, Sonia the Libre Sound. Talk to y'all soon. Have a great